face off. We're gonna talk your face off. We're gonna talk your face off. 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 Talk your face off.
Hey, what is going on, you guys? I am flying solo tonight. Pablo's not feeling well. I'd reach out to him and say, what's going on, dude? What do you got for tonight? And he's like, well, I went home sick yesterday, so he ain't feeling well. We're gonna so I figured we'll talk a few things. Got something new kicking around with monster truck stuff, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Kind of what some of my thoughts are. So many people are asking, and I haven't had a way to give some details yet, so I thought this would be something I could point some people to. But we're also going to talk about some other stuff. 1RC racing. I've got some cool updates that I've done. As you can see, it's looking pretty tricked out, I think. We did a few little. We got these two, the midget and the sprint car, now kind of in the theme. So that finally happened when I was on the Tank RC show last week. So finally playing catch up on a ton of stuff. Debut and Lex says, I got the late model. I saw some chat already. John Martin and them talking Battle Creek location, which is something I'm interested in. Also interested in Walter RC Park. So we'll talk about those kind of options, what I'm thinking overall with that. But that's not going to be the first thing we'll do. We'll kind of churn through some of this other stuff first, and then get right to the good stuff. Just call me Wheeling. All right, Wheeling. All right. First thing on my docket, mail call kind of stuff. Luis RC, you guys saw my gravel stage video. I wasn't lying. I liked him so much. I got him without those wheels that I didn't like. I like that they were pre-mounted. I'll say that. Like as an option, like if I would have had my axial back in the day, my original SCX-10 that I took in the water and whatever, I'd have strapped those on and not cared, just ran them as they were, done the Sharpie trick, whatever. But because I liked them so much, I want to put them on some good wheels. And so got these in the mail. Ciao. What else came in the mail? Oh, something cool. I like this. Oh, I didn't bring up something really cool. They're going to have to wait, Axial. I did a little trade-in the other day, and I got another crawler, an optic, which I'm thinking about putting this in right here, which is the new Unity 10th scale system. Actually, this is the mini one. So this is like an SCX-24 one here. And then this is the big boy one, the big boy can. So I've got this, and I've got the little micro Tesla dashboard thing for being able to program it right from there on the screen, which is why I kind of don't think that I want to put it into the optic. I have to look at some optic videos, or maybe Axial 32 can tell me if it would be easily to access this. We'll go ahead and just kind of open this a little further, give you guys a little look. Screws for mounting it. And here it is. ESC motor, 10th scale, bam, right there. That's it. But there's this little board here that you can use to program it. I've showed it on the minis. It's super cool. Clicks in, goes left and right, works really good, gives you all the features that you normally do in the Bluetooth app right stinking here. I'm just not sure if there's a good spot to mount this where I can reach it. Or maybe I just mount it up in the dash, like up where the guys are. Take the wires up through, and then I don't know. You'll have to tell me because I don't know. But it's just in line here. So yeah. Pretty cool. And there's a little mount here if you actually wanted to screw it to the motor. Like it sets it off the motor mount. And then you'd mount it sideways there. So you'd be able to see it. I don't think if it's on the motor that in the optic I'll be able to get to it, so I might have to think of a different way to mount it. But Yeah, in the battery door, if I could get it mounted in there, that might work all right. Oh, screws. I'm gonna want those later. So that's some cool stuff that came in the mail. Also, I just got some spring sets for 1RC. Nothing to write home about, but I did have somebody lend me some. And so I wanted to be able to return the spring that I got from him to stiffen up my sprint car and make it work so much better. Put a stiffer spring on that front right, as well as gluing it. This thing was running really good. So I got that. I got some midget tires here, and then just some wheel nuts. Oh, and 2 more batteries. And now this stuff I would love to have bought locally. They didn't have them, unfortunately. But they're expendable things. So when he does get them in, I will buy more, like the tires and stuff like that, wheel and tires. I will buy from them because you only get so many runs on them anyway when you're doing racing. So, yeah. Racing case, exactly my thoughts. So you're saying, I think you put that either in a dash or behind one of the battery doors. Pablo Nick is out sick tonight. Axial 32 says he can help. I'd love to put it in that machine. I think it'd be cool. So maybe that's the way to go. All right, let me say hi to everybody in here. John Martin, Trail Crawlers, RC, Dirk, Cycle Garage, Joe Girding, RC Jeep Guy. I said him. Racing Case 87, CSL Lorne, Radioactive Scale, Mayor Depp. I think that's most. I haven't seen it at the bottom yet. Nick B. If I missed you, Wheeling, W and Lex. Might have missed you. All right, so that's that. So speaking of 1RC racing, I went racing on last Wednesday, and man, I had a blast. Those guys were so good to me too. Just took me in, kind of helped me work through setup stuff, like washing my car, driving my car, and being like, so try this. We tried some spacers, didn't work. Tried a stiffer spring, helped a ton. And then he also just cleaned my tires. I didn't have tire cleaner. So I didn't bring that up here, but I ordered spritzers. I filled them with Simple Green because I wasn't doing anything to my tires. So he showed me how much I'd taken off. So of the dirt, and it was on the towels. So he got me hooked up, and with my, I was right behind the leader. I didn't even realize it with my asphalt late model. I went from being like back of the pack through qualifying and all that, and then I was challenging the leader. He had 75 laps. I had 74. Didn't even realize we were that close. So, but we've been racing at Grand River RC, midgets, and then I went crawling at Reaction. So I had a super busy week of RC. Went monster truck racing, right, and then came back, did the show, and then went to the race on Wednesday. Then I went crawling on Thursday, and I won crawling in class 2, which I never do. Dana didn't show up, and somehow the gladiator, the identity theft one, took first. I don't even know what to think. It was crazy. So, and then after that, so that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. A buddy of mine texted me Thursday night saying like, "Hey, he'd been trying to come over. He showed me some of his RCs when we went camping with our church over the summer, and he's the one that has the truck that we ran at the dunes, the pre-runner truck, and it was awesome. And he's like, "Hey, when can I come check out the course you were building?" I said, "He said I got the day off tomorrow. Can I come?" I'm like, "Sure." I've only got a ton of stuff in my hopper I have to edit right now, but that's cool. Like, come on over. And he stayed from like 10 to 5:30, and Travis joined in at 4 and stayed till 5:30, and we raced. And man, we did everything. We raced the LMT, and I cut stuff out. Like, we raced the LMTs, just him and I, for a whole battery pack. We went 2 through the Groms in the beginning, and I just shortened all that because I knew I had the racing at the end. We ran the Armas, and that Quake, I'll tell you what, that thing is so good. Like, I like the Typhon. The Typhon's pretty cool, but that Quake, there's something about a 2-wheel drive truck like that that's just there's a fun factor that's unbelievable. It's a little out of control, and I like that. I like that about it. So, to Ralph. Okay. Me? Are you calling me Wreck-It Ralph, RC Jeep guy? Everyone tells me that I sound like the guy that's Wreck-It Ralph. I can't tell you how many comments I get saying that I sound just like John C. Reilly. Anyway, maybe I missed something. Maybe something else said something. I went 1RC racing with late model, but the guys were jerks when I raced. But there's an older, and that can happen in racing. I think because it's just getting started, nobody's being super competitive at the moment. But it does happen. You hear that a lot about racing, and a lot of shops that's are like, well, I don't want racing because I don't want the race scene. Like those people don't. They're bad for my hobby shop, but it's tough. You can go either way. So anyway, we're gonna talk about the West Michigan RC monster trucks in a minute. Just keeping you guys. I want to just get through this stuff so that we can talk about that for the whole rest of the time, pretty much. Brody's in here. Brody Kank. I talked to him also. And I was gonna talk to him Friday, but Friday got crazy because after they left, we had something else that we had to do. Saturday was nuts. And then I called him at like, I don't know what, bro. I like 11 and we talked to like 1:30 or something. But yeah, it was crazy. It's been fun. And so I finally finished editing the video from Friday, and that's up. So you can watch all of that craziness. I threw some of the racing in. That was a test for monster truck racing a little bit, but also the Grom racing that I've been wanting to do. So I think if I do that format, but I have a couple more microphones around that are just kind of on stands or something by where we'd all be standing, I could catch a little bit more of the banter instead of just me holding the phone. So yeah. And Brody showed me some of his trucks, and they're freaking sweet. I can't wait to see him in person when we come to Gauntlet. Gauntlet is coming. Shoot, it's like a month away, you guys. If you're not ready, get ready. I need to talk to Jeff, actually. We're going to do another live stream about that. And I think I want to talk to him and see if it's too late. I hope not, that we could just kind of divvy up the there's really not a whole lot of regulations for the 18 scale, but I'm thinking it might be nice this year to do a brushed and brushless in that as well. So it'd be the same rules, but one is just brushed class, one is brushless class, just because it's such a difference in the way that they handle. But anyway, that's a simple thing. I got the trophy stuff I'm working out with Pablo again, because that worked good. RC Jeep guy, I was trying to explain to Tony you didn't figure it out yet. RC Jeep guy, no. Will Darby, I have run the LMT 2.0 at the World Finals, but very briefly. It was pretty cool. Oh, RC Amigo's new name is Ralph, because of my little joke about him driving the porcelain bus. I get it. A win's a win. I missed some of that stuff. Live stream would be great on the event. We might be able to make that happen. Mario Twan says, can't wait to let that quake loose. Right? They're super crazy. I also did see your comment. I need to get over to you guys when you're racing here soon. I'll find a day when I can get over that way to run them. That way for sure. So I need to talk to, I've put a couple of messages out to Dave Walter. So what, okay, so here's, all right, let's talk monster trucks. We're 14 minutes in. That's an easy time to kind of put on there. We'll say right at the 15-minute mark, it'll get for realsies. So I'll just put a 15-minute marker in there. If you want to hear about the monster trucks, it'll be at that 15-minute mark. I do need to go ahead and get the present invite ready. Share screen. This will get us right to that timing that we want. All right. Here it is, guys. We're going to talk monster trucks and racing, West Michigan style, what that might look like, kind of go through it. So I actually had a comment or a conversation with Dave Walter. So not too long ago, as I was going to say that, but it's been over a year. It's when I was at my busiest. And I was like, I can't do it. I think it'd be great. I've wanted to do it since I moved here. So he had interest. They put in a little monster truck area at Walter RC Park, which is good. I heard that they expanded it. I need to get over there. I need to get over there for the gauntlet anyway. So I'm going to try maybe and get over there this week and see if I can get eyes on the area. But also I have some stuff I'd like to just run while I'm out there. So I'll probably double dip. So I'll probably head out there this week sometime and have a little fun. But I do want to chat with them and kind of see, and that might be a good time to be able to talk with them, what that would look like, because there's always like the insurance stuff and, you know, having people on the property and logistics that we would have to definitely work out, and how all that is handled. It's probably best through them since they have it, and so we just have to work something out with them. So that's just kind of what I have to figure out with different places that I'm interested in doing it. But I'll let you know, Brody. So I've decided after going to race RC monster trucks again, it's been a while. I don't know the last one I raced. I think it was at a Horizon RC Fest. If it wasn't there, it was one of the Ohio ones. But I think the last one was Horizon RC Fest 3 years ago, something like that. Dana was there. He drove one of my trucks. I lent it to him. It was when we brought the trailer down, and it's been a while now. So, yeah, I remember there was a mud thing. So the Phoenix had come out, the ready to run, the red one. So I remember I gave that to Bari's son, Cairo, to play with on the crawler course, and he took it mudding. So whatever year that was, and then I did one of the Ohio races, but I think it was 22 when I did that. I might have done two of them. I think 21 when I first moved up here, and I think I did 2022, but I don't think I did two recently. Anyway, it's been a hot minute since I've run them, and I went down to run them in Indiana and had an absolute blast. So I decided, you know what, it's time to just do it, bite the bullet. Let's figure this out. How can we bring this type of racing to West Michigan? And so I've run with No Limit for many years, and I love what they do. I'm going to not try to do as many classes as they do. Definitely not to start. We'll see where that lands. I want to kind of stick to more actual, like more monster truck stuff. Like I don't want to do short course. But I also get that there's like a limit because, you know, starting out, not everybody in this area is into monster trucks or has them. So I get that that's going to be problematic. So, but I think I have a few ideas on how we can address that. So my thought to start it is to run a pro mod class, because that allows the LMTs to run, and I'm going to run it where LMT wheelbase, the new one, is okay in the rules that we're doing, knowing full well that you go somewhere else, what you think you could race with us may not work under their rule sets, in which case you just have to switch out some links and different things like that in order to be okay. But that's anything from crawler comps to anything. You just have to abide by what the rules are of the groups that are running things. So that said, what I'm looking at are pro mod. I'm gonna do Cloudbuster Retro, and we're also gonna allow some shaft driven. It's gotta be era specific to a degree. So yeah, the type of chassis, the type of links and stuff are going to have to work. So, it'll have to be like the leaf sprung kind of an idea. And if it's feeling too fast and whatever, then we're going to have to clock them and just kind of use limiting things to turn down speed on them. So I don't want it to become a fast class like it has become some places. So we're going to put some limits on that. And then we'll run a mini LMT class because there's quite a few people that have those already. That makes it easy. The thing that we're going to do is like stock ESC, stock motor on those. We're going to allow tire changes because we're going to allow body changes. I think that stuff is good for the industry in general, because if you don't allow those things, then that hurts J Concepts, that hurts, Proline, that hurts other companies. And we're not trying to do that where we're like, oh, we're only going to let Losi stuff in with their stock tires or whatever. So at some point, maybe there will be a full stock class, but from the beginning, we're going to be like, you can take off the cage, you can run other bodies, truck bodies, whatever you want, 3D printed bodies. And because of that, I think taking out the cage is probably going to be something we're going to say is okay. We may not say, well, you got to cut your body to make it fit around the cage. That's another option, because the monster trucks they cut out the beds of them and they make them fit. But that's to be decided. But I know for sure we're going to put limitations on the length of them, but not so much on the wheel tire, except for like overall size. We don't want like crazy things that's going to be a speed advantage and stuff like that. Like the FureTech tire is probably going to be the biggest that we're probably going to allow, or whatever the one are from like the Red Cats or something that people would get. But we don't want to like be putting other different tires on. But they're going to have to be Chevron tread anyway. So there'll be some of those kind of things, trying to keep it monster truck like. So that'll be the mini LMT class. The one class that I think I'm going to do as an open class, it'll kind of be like a pro mod to a degree as well. I think we're going to do a Stampede Gorgon Quake class. And maybe if there's a Red Cat that fits into that monster truck 2-wheel drive, I don't know that, but if there's something that kind of fits that bill, 2-wheel drive class, because it's a cheap class. The problem is right now there's the LMT, but now that at one point, we used to have like the SMT 10s. It gave us like a $500 option. It started at $300, put a brushless system in it for $500. You could have a fast truck. Then the LMT came out and it was like $650-ish. But now it's $750. So it's a much harder buy-in for people if they can't find them used. So they may not like mini stuff. You can still, so I'm trying to go with stuff so you can still buy. You can still buy for sure off the shelf Clodbusters. Going to be limited to 27 turn motors, like the J Concepts ones or the axial ones. And then that's no matter what, shafty, whatever. And we have to figure out if there's a gear ratio or something with shafty. Like, again, it's the speed that they can get because of their pinion options and all that makes them kind of a tough add-on to that class, because they can soup them up for speed. So that's where we're just going to limit it. We're not doing sportsman to start. It's too many classes. We're not divvying that much up. We're just trying to get people out and to work within, because not at $750 a pop, we're not going to be getting people buying into everything right from the get-go. We need a starting point, simple, Clodbusters, Pro Mod. Pro Mod's pretty open. Mini LMT, and then we're going to do a 2-wheel drive class. Gorgon, you can add brushless. Stampedes now come brushless. The only thing with that class is I'm going to put a 2S limit on it, so that can help equalize a little bit. So yeah. And then we will do a freestyle for Pro Mod. Yep. Because they're the most freestylable ones. So when we do the freestyle, that'll mainly be it. We've done other things where the freestyle is like everything X Max has come out and it gets crazy. So we're gonna make this more of a real. This is about monster trucks, in my opinion. So we're gonna do the ones that best monster truck it would be possibly even the mini LMTs have a separate one for them. But the way that I'm picturing it in my mind is that the mini LMTs will be a qualified race class and be done. And so it'll probably have a different start time than what I would say for the rest of it, so that those people don't have to be there all day if they race just the mini LMT. If there's kids or whatever, they just want to come and they want to race mini LMTs because that's what they can afford and do. We're probably just going to do that as its own thing in the morning, run them, race them, be done, and then come in and do the 2-wheel drive retro and whatever. And so if people want to run LMT Mini and those, they can come for the LMT Mini and stay for the other because it'll kick off right after. So that's my idea, at least. I'm just trying to think through the best way to run through some of the stuff and where I think that the new people might jump in, and trying to get them intrigued to stay and watch our day, but also be able to, if they've got kids and they're just running the minis, they can bounce. So those are some of the ideas that I was thinking through with that. All right. So comments. Does anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions? All right, Brody Crank. We'll see you, man. I love real courses like Chicago style and World Finals style. Yeah, we're going to kind of change things up. St. Louis style, Chicago style, whatever. And the thought too being that if we don't have too many classes, like if the second I start doing it, then there's just either more qualifying or practice time required for all of those different ones. But then there's also, there's more race time involved. What I would like is to be able to run a track, run the races, switch it up, run another track, and run a whole second set of races if we can, if people are coming out to do it. So it'd be one buy-in for the day per truck, but we try to run through 2 sets of races in that amount of time. So we'll see. I might be in my head just thinking it's possible and it's not, but I know that that's how they do it over in SoCal. They'll run 2 sets of races. And I just like the idea of letting people get out and run. Like, I just want to be running trucks. So the thought being that we'd run a practice. So here's where you guys can weigh into this. So traditional racers will be like, how could you do that? Stockish class is going to be the LMT minis. There's not a cheap stock class for anything else right now. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so they're so expensive. The way that I plan to keep interest for new people is by not doing qualifying, but rather doing it as a randomized bracket, and then having open practice where people can just grudge match, where we'll do, whether it's a light system or watch the light and flip a switch. We'll still line people up like they're doing qualifying or racing, call it, run it, declare, which side was the winner, just so that they can get that feel for racing all through practice. And they can go as many times as they can go take their truck to the other side and run it, or their batteries that they think will allow for their batteries that they have. So my thought is to run some practice and then racing. And so do practice, then set brackets randomized when people have, during that practice time, be working on getting the brackets randomized so that after practice we can start racing right away. The break would be for people to charge batteries, whatever, in the setup for the next track, allow them to race it and run it in practice, and then do that for 30 minutes or so, and then run racing again. So that's the idea. But the qualifying is good and great. I understand that it's racing and that's how they do it. It's a different scene where you're not picked like Monster Jam drivers where you're already at a certain level. So in order to not put the worst person there against the best person there, that's why I want to randomize it. And then what I'd do is we'd race 2 brackets, and then from the winner of the 2 brackets, we just have them race. So that would kind of be the way to find if we wanted an overall winner for the day, because everybody's got to have that. Whatever. It's more like motocross that way, you know? So in that world, it's really about one winner. So that's an idea. If they have to feel like I won the day, then we just have the 2 race each other. So I've talked to some people. That's how they do it, SoCal, and they love that they get together, they get to run trucks. So there's a racing aspect to it. It's also just getting together of people who love monster trucks, hanging out and playing. Like what I just did with friends on Friday was a blast. Sometimes if we just make it so serious that we're only going to do it like the real trucks and cars do it. Cool. You drive for a minute and a half for the whole day. You're there for 8 hours and you drive for a minute and a half per truck. Like that's the reality. So if that's what doing the real thing is and you like that, then you can do that. That's not what I like. So I like driving RC cars. And if I can get together with other people and we can just grudge match and just each practice, I line up against somebody and have fun, see if I can beat them to the end, whether it's a real race or not during practice, that's still fun. And I feel like I'm getting race time out of it and I'm learning. I'm learning. So if I did want to then do like a point series later in the year where we do real qualifying, that gives those new people time to figure it out, learn, race against people during practice, and learn how to tune their stuff. And then we could do a 4 race thing. We could do a month, like end of the summer month thing leading up to a world finals type of event for, our region. And then, so those are the ideas. The other thing that I want to do is we did it in Virginia as we traveled to different, at that point, hobby towns or different locations. They weren't all hobby towns. We hit a bunch of hobby towns. We'd go to Digger's Dungeon. We did one at some Beef Fest thing in some just grass field somewhere where some other event was going on. We did like a Toys for Tots one where your entry wasn't money. You brought in a toy to give to Toys for Tots, and that was your payment per truck. So every truck you owned to run, you brought in a toy. So they did a bunch of fun stuff. Like I loved what we did with No Limit. But they had a bunch of classes too. And so I just, in order to run a lot during the day to have the fun, I just entered 8 classes. Well, that's really tough to do when you're starting with people that haven't been doing this, and we're going to try and build something. So those are some of my thoughts. Locations haven't been decided. I mean, I'd love to hear some suggestions. I know Walter RC Park is one great suggestion. If we can figure out how to do that there, I'd love to run on a dirt-ish course. We can run on grass. I don't want to run on asphalt. I'm not ruling it out. If we do that, I definitely want to have carpet landings for jumps. Like I would love to even like one of the races run it outside reaction if Jeff wanted. I mean, that I'd be totally fine with that. That's what we do with Hobbytown. It brought people in, they'd ask about it and they could go in and they could order stuff through there or whatever. So, or they a lot of times would walk out with other RCs. They'd see when they go and they're like, what, they got Jeep ones? I want that. And then, so yeah, they're like, oh, so you didn't get a monster truck, but you found out about RCs. Cool. So, but in a parking lot like that, I took out my brand new Freesail RC ZRD chassis and was running it and super excited about it. And I got back after the qualifying and I realized that the cement had chewed up the whole bottom aluminum part of the frame landing on the asphalt. And that sucked. They have carpet that they put down a lot when they do that as for the landings. But I also learned to make a skid plate for my trucks out of styrene and melting it and kind of shaping it to make it bulletproof. But Wastelands is one in Muskegon is an idea. So I'm thinking, so for monster truck racing, typically people drive from all over. It'll be like a once a month thing on a Saturday. Unless there's more and people are wanting to do it twice a month. I think once a month is fine to start, and we do it once a month from April to October, but um and then bouncing around between different places. The reason I say that is because people have reached out already about coming from Illinois and Indiana and the east side of the state and every which way. And so if we always do it in one, they've always got the long drive. But if we could do it at Walters, it may be a shorter drive for the guys on the east side, a little bit longer for other people. Then we go down to Battle Creek. It's shorter for the people coming up from the southwest part. And then if we do it up in like the wastewater, anyone coming from the northwest side, Ludington, whatever, it makes it closer for them. So that's kind of the idea of having 3 where we kind of each take turns driving further. And it gives us different places to go and see and be a part of. So that's what I'm thinking toward it. But yeah, I have to look and see. I think the wastelands would be easy to find a place, even though there's grassy parts over in the Bash area. It's got a sand in it, so I think it would still slide and be pretty good, like what we ran in Indiana. And I'm not even opposed to finding a place to do indoors in the winter. And even if it's on an oval track somewhere, whatever, finding a way to go from the infield and out and whatever, being creative in track building. But yeah, so, but I say an oval because I'd hope that it'd still be dirt. Carpet's okay. I don't hate carpet racing. It's a whole different setup for trucks. And I've never been fast at it. So, how big are the tracks length by width? Well, so I can show a couple. I mean, we can look at some of the different tracks that run. Let me see here. I can pull up like the NorCal. They just did a really small one for their World Finals because they could run it at A main that way. So here's a fast pass. That's quick. That's 15 feet. Maybe 15 feet. Maybe 10 feet to the first corner. And then that corner. So those are pretty tight. They have a little bit longer stretch at the end there to jump through the finish line. But that's still 20 foot. And so they have somebody else running that exact same course on the other side. So I believe that's typically how that works. So yeah, so there's the left side, and they finish out jumping out through there, and this side jumps across. So they're starting on that upper side and doing their back and forth and ending on the bottom. So they're basically jumping opposite ways across the finish line areas. So you can see who the winner is by a camera and slow motion it to cross the line. So that's pretty small area. It's probably maybe 10 feet wide by 40 feet long, 50 feet long. It's pretty narrow area on that one. If we went to RCMTC, there they are. Do they have videos posted yet of their course? So here's their course. This is pretty big. Pretty big course. And jump over this. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like they start up here and go this way around and jump over. That'd be my guess. Don't know if there's videos of that being run yet. So that's the area for theirs, and that looks, that's a pretty big area. It's probably 50 feet across by 70 long width. So their courses can be pretty big. Let's see if there's any videos of a race of one of theirs. And then other people will do straight drag races. They'll do like the hippie drags in Virginia, where it's just a straight line down like a driveway, side by side. So that's just down. They cut back over. It's a pretty simple setup, but it's cool because it gives them a little crossover. So it doesn't have to be ginormous. That's where we can work within what's available. Let's see if SoCal has any videos. So here's, oh, so they'll run it like the Boneyard. That's a pretty good area. This looks like when they traveled down to Texas to run, maybe. So here's, this is a pretty big course as well. I'd guess that's 70 to 80 wide by 32 maybe wide. If these are 8-foot panels-ish. Guesstimates. I could be way off. So it's all over the place on what you need. If you have a smaller area, that's when you do Chicago style. Start them on opposite sides and then just kind of chase each other around and then come down the middle. So you get your length by running around the whole thing more than once. So you just, if you have a timing system, you just get around that by having it start off to the side or start on the hill, go around, you jump through the starting line again. It doesn't matter because you jump over, in theory, the blocks the next time through, and then you'd go through the finish line up the middle. So, or you just avoid that jump. You just start on one, hit the next one, and then come up the middle. I bet this is really helping. The Vegas one was huge. Okay. So you think the Armor Quake would be a really fun class to race? I love my modded Gorgon and pick up my Quake Thursday. Yeah, I think it'd actually be a super great one. Question mark is it has like stabilization in it, so we'd have to turn that off. Because we don't usually allow assists like that in any type of racing. We'd have like steering assist. So it's easy to turn off. So we just have to check it. If we pick up the trucks and do this, and it's pretty obvious it's on. That's less than an inch. Let me just measure. Yeah, not a huge run out on that. Man, there were some good runs on it, though. Yeah, 50 by 60-ish. Okay. Somewhere in there. What's up, Metal RC? Dirk. No, there's not a standard set, John Martin. In fact, it changes the layout every time. And so the nice thing about a bigger area is you can work your track around where, like what they do here. Let me cut back to this. Why isn't it doing it? This one right here. You can see they've got freestyle obstacles and all that around. And they got pretty cool starting gates too. I just realized Travis was talking about that. That's the other thing I have to do is I have to build jumps. Ideally, because I don't have it in my backyard like this, where they can build it all out of their nice, awesome clay that they've got. and dirt that they've got in California, we'll be bringing metal and plastic jumps or wood jumps or things that are built and laid out. And then I will have dividers like these. And actually what I saw at the NorCal one, can I go back to that? Here's another cool track setup. So this is a more simplified one. This is Jessica Dahl, it looks like. Michael Fletcher or Letcher. Why did I say Fletcher? Michael Letcher. All right, so they're gonna go. That was just a quick. I mean, that's as much as it was for retro. But they've got all different. If you look on their sites, you can see all the different layouts and stuff that they've had. And they're not all run there. They've run them at other places too. And so you'll see like here's on another track and how they've got it set up with wood ramps. But they've got these dividers. So I'm just going to make those out of some 2x4s and some wood. That way you can just kind of stack around and help people visualize what the course is. So that's the kind of stuff I have to still make. I have to go through the rules. I'm going to be picking rules and trying to make it so most of the classes fit within what other people have. So we got to try to find some crush cars and some stuff like that. That was a super quick. See, these are straight drag race. This is old school. And it's all about reaction. All about reaction time. So we'll kind of look at what everybody's rules are, and then from that, I'll try to pick. Yeah, there's some that use fire hose. That's awesome, tool time. Yeah, my LT does that wiggle. It's all worn out. So do mine. So, but yeah, so I think that we'll probably do a 2S class. So if somebody's asking about the Quake, that'll be a 2S LiPo Stampede Gorgon Quake class, and whatever Red Cat. I think, does Red Cat have a 2-wheel drive monster truck? The Volcano. Is that one? No, it looks too much money to be a 2-wheel drive, like the Stampede or whatever. And they may not. Because the Rampage is too big. Yeah, so I guess it'll probably be a Stampede and like an Arma Traxxas class for their 2-wheel drive monster trucks. And then if you bought it and it was brushed, you may want to go brushless with it. But yeah, but we're going to limit the speed on some of them by just lowering the battery size. Because the Quake is, most of the Stampedes are going to probably be the 2S Traxxas thing anyway. So might as well just kind of match that and not give the other truck the advantage of 3S and just say, we're going to cap it at 2S. And it's not supposed to be the fastest class anyway. It's not supposed to be faster than our Pro Mods. So let's cap that thing. But Ground Pounder would fit in the Pro Mod class. Going to want to upgrade it. Pro Mod will fit like the LMTs if you still have that kind of stuff. It'll fit custom stuff. It'll fit most things, especially now that we're going to use, it'll allow shocks on or off the axles, all of that. And then, yeah, it's just going to kind of be the race class of the bigger tire monster trucks to start. And it'll have some limitations, like we're not going to want those bigger inner diameter LMT 1.0 wheels that are short course kind of wheels. We're going to want they're all 2.6 in and outer diameter. So that's the stuff I have to work through, are some of the rules. Kind of like the rollover rules. What's that? Like what counts as being, for retro especially, 2 wheels on. And same with the other trucks. Like if there's a jump, 2 wheels have to hit the face of it. It has to be the front 2 wheels. It's not just your side two wheels. It's front two wheels on. Things like that. So, and then also if there's a center line divider where you're coming for lanes that are side by side, you can't cut into the other lane and impede. And so we'll have those rules. I'll be looking at what is NorCal doing, what is RCMTC doing over in New York, what is No Limit doing, what are they doing in Ohio, because that's one that's close to us. And then kind of taking all of that and saying, like, what can we do where our rules will allow it to fit within almost all of these classes, which may put you in a disadvantage in some others because you're restricted, but you can always open it up more if you want. It just wouldn't keep your truck from being allowed to compete by going back, oh, you don't fit within our rules, can't drive it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's 2.6 tributes. So 2.6 is the inner diameter or the wheel size. Because 2.2 are their smaller ones. But Losi did it where it's 2.6 on the outside, but then it was like massive on the inside, like a short course. So we'd want to be getting it down to where the inner and outer diameters are the same at that 2.6. Just because it's a big advantage for cornering and things with tires not rolling over or ballooning, and just a little bit better handling. In theory. But the new LMT 2.0 doesn't run those. They went to 2.6s inner and outer. So do they even still sell ground pounders? I think so. They did last time I looked. Oh, I don't see it anymore. Discontinued online. Does not look like it. But if people have them, it still would fit. Just like the SMT10 would. In fact, a lot of people, hey, Scott, that'd be great. Send us your rules too. Because they're running in Kentucky too. And then I'm going to throw all of them into AI and say, like, make us rules that work within all these. Right? How cool would that be? We want our trucks to work in every. So, like, retro in, well, I didn't mention the big guys in St. Louis, Trigger King. Like, they've got weight restrictions and speed restrictions on retro. It has to weigh, 9 pounds or something. And it can't go over 10 miles an hour. Tony broke my heart. They're gone. Oh, no. The best bet is to look for a used LMT somewhere. Somebody, or if they ever do that crazy sale on the King Slings again and the Bog Hogs, those things went on crazy sale at one point. Get that, just put monster truck tires on it. So that's the other thing we might do, is eventually add a mega truck class. I'm trying to decide. Like, I get the 2.2, but I don't as well. Like, it's just most people run the exact same truck, but they're just putting different tires on it. So it's just so they can race more. But I'm just like, why don't we just race more? Like, let's finish this and set up a new course and race again. Not change tires and do like small tires and all that. So that's my thoughts on it. Because you also run the risk of breaking your truck in one class and having to get it ready for another class. Because some people would run it in 2.2, then they'd switch the tires to Mega Truck, and then they'd switch the tires to Pro Mod, but they're all legit the same truck that it fits within all the rules just by changing the tires. So I run mega trucks. I'd want to run mud. So I'd want to find out about getting a mud holes, 2 mud holes dug. Doesn't even have to be that muddy. I know people are like, that's just water in a hole. I don't care. It really messes with the trucks and they're driving. So they hit that and it just starts spinning you, and it's all about control. So you may want to think about limit the wheelbase and Pro Mod. My limit's going to be the new LMT. I think it's stupid to not make it that when that's the only ready to run truck that is available right now. And I know people have a differing opinion on that. And I just think it's stupid. So that's my take on it. It's the only truck you can go out and buy that would fit in a class. Let them run it. So yeah. So I wouldn't want them stretching it beyond that. I think that's getting ridiculous. But that's going to be the basis for what our Pro Mod class starts at, is what people could buy from a store shelf and run. So, I mean, if I were to limit anything, I would limit taking the shocks and putting them on off the axles. Where do we ever see that? So, what they've built is the most scale truck, and then people are like, well, we can't run it. You have to do all this other stuff. But then they shorten it, but then they put the shocks all in weird places and down onto the trailing arms and stuff you'd never see on a monster truck. And that's okay, right? That's cool. We can do that. You can make it not monster trucky, and we'll let it be a monster truck Pro Mod. So anyway, yeah. And I can't change that and limit that because I want to be able to run my freestyles. So I'm not going to. But like, that's kind of where my take is on it. It's like I don't get that limitation. Things change. It's a bummer that Losi made it bigger than everything else, but it's also like, if you want to make things real to scale, then get the proportions right. Yeah. But yeah, I like more and more the sport mod classes and stuff like that do require cages, and they do require shock on axle. So for me, that's a cool class. But I get Pro Mod. In my opinion, Pro Mod's really about modify your trucks and make them crazy so that they compete, right? They compete best. So I get that, the whole idea of it being modified. It's just weird that was the class when there was really no standard monster truck class. Like, oh, we're gonna go monster truck racing. There's no class that a standard monster truck would actually do well in, but that's what we're doing. So they're all modified beyond what makes real monster trucks do good. But I think one of the equalizers is freestyle. Like, and I mean, I would hate to say I would be of the if I were to run it my way, the Pro Mod people would have to race their trucks and freestyle their trucks and get a combined score for the day, like they do at Monster Jam. So then when you set your trucks up a certain way to race, it may not do good in freestyle. And so you get kind of this little bit of give and take. Hey, Michael Etcher's in here. The one I called Michael Fletcher on accident, and then quickly corrected myself once it came out. I'm like, that wasn't right. But yeah, it's funny, like, because people get so snooty about stuff. No, we're real racing, and I'm like, well, how? These are nothing like real monster trucks. Yeah, but we're doing these things that are just like the racing. Yeah, but this part isn't. And like, so I'm gonna do random brackets, and then I'm gonna do a 2-wheel skill, a race, and then a freestyle, and combined score wins. Like, that's more real than just having your qualifying and then racing. But again, my biggest issue with the qualifying thing to it is that the drivers are picked. They're all already at certain levels. And it's very hard to get in the real life. to get into that racing and be in it. So you already have to have competed to a certain level to be there anyway. And so what we're doing is people just coming off the street with a brand new toy car, and they're coming and they qualify, and they're this new 12-year-old kid, and they got to go against our fastest guy. I think it's stupid. So I'm not going to do it that way. So that's just my take on it. Like, it's a hobby. I'm all about the fun side of it. I'm all about hanging out together and racing as much as we can. And whether that's just grudge matches during a practice, 30-minute, 40 minutes on the track where you just get to eat it up and run it, and then actually, bracket race, just actually we'll randomize it, and then we'll do real racing after you've had time to just kind of get wet doing it, get your feet wet doing it. I think that's kind of how I'll run most things. And then again, I'll probably at some point do a shortened series where we would do a qualifying and all that for the guys that are all about racing and whatever for a series. But I think the beginning of the year will be the other format. And then at some point we'll do a series of 4 to 5 races, 5 probably, with one that you can drop out. And that might follow a little bit different format. So I'm just kind of trying to kick around ideas, but I'm legitimately trying my hardest to think of how do I give people the most wheel time on a day when they come out, so they don't leave saying, I only got to run for a minute and I was here for 8 hours. That's tough to get somebody back. I wouldn't come back. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I probably wouldn't have came back. So, my wife won't come to the races. She won't. So I think if I'm looking at formatting, I'm thinking what makes this an enjoyable thing. One, for anybody that rolls up and sees what we're doing and wants to see it, there's going to be stuff going on. And people are going to be just kind of semi-racing, and then just maximizing track time is what I'm looking at. So, and I don't know exactly what that looks like, and I may do it and it may suck, but that's what we're shooting for. Hey, Dave, I need to chat with you sometime. But yeah, we'll get it sorted and whatever. And if it drives away the guys that are the extreme racers, probably good. Because as you see some of these other guys talking about what that ends up being like, that's why a lot of shops don't have racing at their shops. So when it gets too competitive and it stops being like a camaraderie get together to race trucks and have fun, then yeah, it's not as enjoyable. So yep, Troy, that's what we're looking. You do race in each lane and then hop out. Yep. That way, if they're already up there, they're already running, it's faster too, because every time you change out somebody, there's a little bit of a lull. And then there would be a little break too as well that would allow, if you break something during practice, time to get things sorted and get back out there. So Dave Walter says needs some space. Yeah, we'll talk. I need to come out that way anyway, to run some trucks and crawlers and all that. So I was saying I was probably going to try and head out there this week, maybe, if the weather clears. So, and I want to say too, like, I'm not saying what I'm doing as a critique on the way anybody else is doing it. Like, anybody else can run them however they want. So I just want to try something different. Like, I want to see if there's a way that I can get a lot of new faces, because I've also got a jump start with people that aren't doing it already. I don't have the luxury that it's been running over here on this west side for years and years and years, and there's guys that have stuff ready to come and run. So I have to find out ways to draw interest and to get people out. And I think more and more, people are more interested in running together and racing with each other over and over and over versus very few times in a day. So I'm trying to figure out how I can make that happen and maximize their time. So they're like, man, I got a lot out of that and want to come back. In saying that is because they're not going to have 8 trucks in 8 different classes ready to come and race with us first day. So they're going to have their 1 or 2. How can I make their time with 1 or 2 trucks be a great time for them? So that's what's got to be figured out. All right. See ya, Tyler. I'm going to let things wrap here. We've been going about an hour. Scott, I would love to see your rules. I don't think I'm going to limit the shocks thing. I get on that stuff, and I'm the guy that has the Pro C trucks, so I can't talk about shocks on axles. I just have to laugh when people get all up in arms about things, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't do this real and you don't do that real, so like, stop being so pious about it. That's all I'm saying. We're just out right here racing toy cars, and we should have fun with it, and we should make them go fast and handle great. I'm all for it. I love the Pro Mod classes. That's my favorite. And Retro. And honestly, Retro is my favorite, but Pro Mod would be, of the fast ones, my favorite. Because I'm fun factor and just having a place to run. Yeah, and so the good thing is, if I can get 1 or 2 races this year, I can find out, hey, I had this like utopian idea in my head, and guess what? It doesn't work. Back to the way that I'm used to doing it, like, and that's okay with me. But you're busy, dude. Are you planning on dropping any more videos from the Midwest Nationals? I am. That's the next videos I'm working on. Jeff, this week got crazy, and I didn't expect it to. And I've already shot, even before I went down there, stuff on 1RC racing, and I haven't posted any of those yet. And I've got to do these videos for FureTech. And what else just came in? I think that's the main one. But yes, Jeff, we'll be working on that. But just getting it started is the best start, right, John Martin? If we can just get guys to show up and run them, that's a good start. Just like I had the guys show up on Friday and we just ran mini LMTs and we had a blast. Just with a little stopwatch, just for fun. But yeah, again, so the reason I don't want to have a ton of limitations too is I want to honor these companies that make stuff for us. And so with the mini LMTs, I want to honor J Concepts and that they've taken the time and the money to make wheels and tires for these things. I think we should run them. They make bodies for them so we can run other bodies. We should run them. Whether or not we should try to fit them around cages, that's a whole different discussion. Don't think it's necessary, because from a stock truck, anybody can remove their cage, even with a stock body, if they want to keep running it. It's not as easy. I get it. It's more of a pain. I don't know. I like the cages, honestly. So it's a bummer that it's a disadvantage to run it, but it does make things nice and easy to work on and take on and off and all that. But yeah, we'll get it done, Jeff. There's some good stuff in there. Thoughts on the new Armor Quake? It's amazing. You should get one. Brushless Gorgon, same thing. It's going to be the exact same guy. And that's why we're going to bring that in. Actually, Jeff was there, Kettler, and he saw, and his son actually ran the Quake. We ran it on the racetrack, and it was freaking sweet. 2-wheel drive on it. The suspension on it's so insane. So that's why I'm like, man, we should race these too. Like, hey, look, monster truck. I know they're, and people are like, oh, 4-wheel drive's the only one. It's the same people that are running their shocks on their trailing arms that aren't real monster trucks. Like, get over it being independent suspension. If your suspension's not run like a real monster truck, don't even talk about the Quake. So, yeah. So we're gonna do that again. We need an affordable class. It's gotten stupid expensive again to get into the pro mod. The LMT was cool. You could get an RTR and do it. Now it's the $750 buy-in. So it's a little tougher. So we'll run a Stampede class, two-wheel drives, 2S limit. Can be Stampedes or Quakes that way, or Gorgons, whatever you want. Trex's Bigfoots. No, not the 4-wheel drive one. 2-wheel drive one. Dude, that would be super sweet, Jeff. What's up, Zimmerman? Speaking of my Pro Cs and my cheater stuff. But yeah. Yeah, the Quake is nuts, handled so well, and just the right amount of craziness. It was, but that was on 3S. That's why we're going to limit it down to 2S. It shouldn't be out racing the pro mods. Shouldn't be out racing the pro mods. It was making some quick laps. But yeah, I need to get to Jeff's race. He holds one in Ohio. So yeah. Anyway, it's coming. I got to figure it all out how we're going to do it here. But again, I want to make it a fun experience for people and a fun time. But I say that because I'm not saying I don't have a fun time when I do the other ones, but I do leave saying, man, I wish I drove more. So that's what I'm trying to work out, is how can I give the people that are just RCers because of the fun of RCing a little bit more drive time on a race day. And I think we have an idea that we're going to try. And then, that of course poses new problems, like, well, where are they going to charge your batteries if they don't have more batteries? And that's what they're going to have to be careful with, is either bring enough batteries to run, or a way to charge them on your car, or a generator or something. So, but yeah. Anyway, should come down to NRCTPA. I'm coming to the NRCTPA one in Ohio. Yep, in October, I'll be there. So I'm getting back into it, and I'm excited. It's so much fun. Yeah, and we're gonna bring it to West Michigan, and it may be different than what some people are used to, but that's okay. Not everything has to be the same. So, but if you guys end up doing it that way and you're like, no, this sucks, we hate it worse than doing it the other way, then we'll talk. All right, I'm gonna go. I got videos to edit and cars to get ready for racing and crawling, and so much to keep up on. Here we go. So what classes are you going to be doing in Ohio? I've got the mod 1, stage 1, stage 2, pro mod, I guess. Oh, will it be King approved? I got new sticker packs on the website that you can get, and I'm actually working on the King of RC approved stickers. Well, I'll show the bigger one because you can see it a little better. King of RC approved. These are like for me to put on some stuff funny wise, but these are for like people to stick on their cars. So I might have the really big one. I printed a huge one. When I was in Indiana, I wanted to just find something to stick it on. Oh, here it is. And just have it there, like King of RC approved. So I didn't do it though. I wanted to. I should have stuck it on Jeff's trailer. That's what I should have done. Dang nabbit. Hola, we out, Harley. Catch you guys later.